The Tigers hit the road in CAA play twice this week. The Tiger Basketball Report starts now, brought to you by the Green Turtle.
For an athlete, there's nothing scarier than a torn ACL.
Athletes trust us with their care and their careers because we're a recognized leader in sports medicine.
Get back to your active life sooner with MedStar Sports Medicine.
White Market's ice cream plant is based in Sunbury, Pennsylvania, and locally owned and operated. We've been making our ice cream for nearly 50 years. We create roughly 70 flavors of ice cream right now. We use local ingredients, especially our cream, which is from our milk plant. The cream is what gives our ice cream a rich and creamy texture. Now, together with our customers, we've created a product called Peanut Butter Indulgence, which will be coming out this summer. It's a peanut butter ice cream with sea salt caramel swirl and chocolate-covered pretzel. How could you go wrong with that? Personally, I love our ice cream. If you come to our house at any given time, you'll find at least 5 packets of ice cream in our freezer. Our kids grew up eating Wise quality ice cream, and now we get to treat our grandchildren to it. It's been a pleasure for me to be tasting ice cream for over 40 years for Wise Markets, and I'm loving every minute of it.
Welcome, fans, to another edition of the Tiger Basketball Report. I'm your host, Spiro Morekas, along with the head coach of the Tigers, Pat Skerry. And, Coach, the Tigers, two traditional opponents this week, Drexel and Delaware, probably the two schools Towson has played more than any other, and we start off heading to Philadelphia on Thursday against a Dragon team that last week pulled off a big upset as they beat the College of Charleston, then lost to UNCW. But this is a team that's got some names we haven't seen before.
They're really, really good offensively.
Averaging just under 80 points a game.
Yeah, obviously you got to take away the three-point shot. They have a lot of different guys that can shoot it. They run really good offense. Great win over Charleston. They were down 9 with 3.5 to go and got fouled shooting a 3 with like a second left. So and made all 3 free throws, which is no easy feat to do. So Troy Hopper's having a great year for them. They just got Kirk Lee back the last couple games. So he'll be excited to play. And then Dahan inside is obviously a good mismatch guy. But yeah, like most games in this conference, they're gonna be wars. Drexel's going to try to keep us off the glass. I think we've got to do a good job of controlling tempo. We're expecting to see, they've played some 2-3, they've played some man, they've played some 1-3-1s. We're expecting to see a little bit of everything from them defensively.
They also have a freshman point guard, Cameron Winter, who has played very well for them. And you mentioned Kirk Lee coming back now. How are they rotating those two guys in and out? Yeah,
Lee's been coming off the bench, but I think they're like bottom 20 in the country in percent of minutes off the bench. So getting Lee will help. They'll play them a lot together. Winter doesn't take as many threes statistically as some of the other guys they have, but good player, New York kid, and pretty good speed and downhill guy, playing with a good amount of confidence.
You mentioned, they have 3 guys that play over 30 minutes a game. And when we talk about Delaware, they have 4 guys that play over 30 minutes a game. So these are teams that don't go real deep into their bench. You, this past week, were down to 8 scholarship players, and hopefully Alex Thomas can come back this week. But if he can't, you're stuck with 8 scholarship players. It's going to be a war of attrition, isn't it?
Yeah, injuries are, we've had more than normal. Alex is we're hopeful, but it's a hip injury and a muscle tear, and that's painful and limits your mobility. So he'll do the best he can. The one thing about having 8 guys today, I thought that I didn't think we were tired. I think where it's more of a concern from a coaching standpoint is having to alter some practices. We're usually a team that spends a lot of time on the defensive end of the floor with transition defense and half-court defense. Where we're trying to do some of that, we've got to do it differently. We can't just do it like bone on bone,
Right.
pounding. That wouldn't be wise.
Some of your assistants get in there and get beat up a little bit.
Yeah, that's maybe we
Probably enjoy that, wouldn't you?
I don't know if some of them are good enough. We got big guys. So we just got to be smarter. But you're right. Both these teams don't play a lot of guys, but the different teams too, because Drexel plays at a pretty fast tempo. Delaware plays at a much slower tempo, and I think we're okay with either of those tempos. I think it's for us the one thing I want to make sure of. I think I talked to this on the radio the other day. When guys should have great confidence because they're all playing. Even if a guy has a bad stretch,
right,
he's still going to get to play. I think what we're mindful of as a staff and a little bit concerned of with so many new guys, Spiro, and only having 8, is you can't take possessions off defensively, and that's something I think we've got to be at a couple notches better than what we've been the last couple games on that end of the floor, knowing you're going to play a lot. Don't worry about if you miss a couple shots or the ball. You still got to be really good down that other end. When normally we've played 10, 11 guys, if a guy doesn't hold up his end of the bargain down there on the floor, there's another guy ready to go.
Right. Saturday you go to Delaware. I would say so far the surprise team of the conference. 4-2. They did suffer a loss this past week, and they got 4 guys averaging in double digits. Eric Carter leading the way, but again, you look at this and you see Carter, Ryan Allen when he's played, Ethiel Horton, Kevin Anderson, Darian Bryant, all averaging almost 35 minutes a game. They do not go deep at all.
No, they don't go deep. They play at a slow tempo. They run good offense. Carter's having a great year. He's obviously been a dominant post player. We try to pride ourselves on being able to guard inside. I think a lot of teams have doubled him, and that's opened up some three-point shooting for their other guys. They've normally changed defenses against us, but I think they're guarding pretty good right now. I've seen a little bit of them on film. I anticipate another hard-fought game. We're going to need to do a good job, not just on Carter, but I think the three-point shot, because it's going to be a possession type of game. And can we get on the glass and play with some spacing, and if we see some zone, execute against that. These are, I watched. They said they had a tough first game. Give them a lot of credit. They had the worst loss in CA history, their first game.
Right.
And then they bounced back with back-to-back 1-point wins. And that's really, when you talk about it, comes down to 1 or 2 possessions a half. You've got to find your way into some of those. We can still do that. This would be a good week for that to start happening. So
the Tigers will take on Drexel Thursday at 7 o'clock, Delaware Saturday at 7 o'clock. I'll have both games for you on CBS Sports Radio 1300 and TowsonTigers.com. Now, famous Drexel alums.
Malik Rose.
Toots Shore.
Who's that?
You don't remember Toots Shore's a famous saloon in New York City, Manhattan?
I did not know that.
That's where all the... See, if you were alive back then, you'd be there all the time. And my sister, also a Drexel grad. Delaware, famous Delaware grads.
Famous Delaware grad. There's probably too many for me to count.
Chris Christie. Joe Biden. Joe Flacco. I don't like to give them credit, though. Anyway, that'll do it for this episode of the Tiger Basketball Report. For the head coach of the Tigers, Pat Skerry, I'm Spiro Morekas. Thanks for tuning in, and as always, go Tigers.